The Small Business Development Center is a statewide network made up of professional consultants in 6 locations throughout the state. Companies come to us with a felt need, and our goal is to help them reach their core need. Once we determine that, that's when we start to see companies prosper.
The SBDC helped us start, hands down. Having the tech center, having the resources from the SBDC helped us start our business, and we couldn't have done it without them.
The consultants of the Small Business Development Center are professional executives, CEOs, entrepreneurs themselves that really can relate to each of the small businesses to help them achieve their goals.
They got to know our business, inside and out. We told them everything about how our business works.
I feel like the interest that he showed too gave him a little bit more of an idea of where we needed help in.
The resources being tapped into my executive team, who themselves tap into SBDC almost weekly to gain information and knowledge base that becomes very instrumental in us making the right decisions.
We measure success by the success of our businesses. We really are industry and professional agnostic. So our goal is that if we can help those companies grow and thrive and expand, then that's success to us.
Welcome to the Business Boys Talkin' Business Virtual Power Lunch. Please welcome your hosts, Tyler Price and Brian Magleby.
Wow, yes. Where is Tyler? He's usually here. This is the first time he's let the Magleby man do the solo shows. So I know I have some big shoes. I've left him high and dry the last couple weeks, 2 weeks down and out with COVID, and then a week on vacation. Last week I was sitting on the beach of Hebgen Lake. Yeah, not the beach that I like to be at, but of Hebgen Lake, and watching the show there with a tossing a fishing line out in the lake. So I was out last week on vacation, but the 2 weeks before that with COVID. So I've left him high and dry, and he called me at 11 o'clock last night and said, I have somewhere, I've just had something come up that he needed to be. So since I left him high and dry, we're gonna I won't complain about him not being here. I think this is the first show that he's not really been to. I had a couple substitutes, but anyway, the first show I've done solo. So we appreciate you tuning in to Talkin' Business today. That ad that we played at the very beginning, the SBDC, that's kind of some of the testimonials that you'll get if you contact the SBDC to get some consulting. So let's, last week, Stephanie Taylor Thompson with the Prison Fellowship. Man, I was excited to have her on the show. I wished I would have been here to interview her, but man, what a great, powerful experience that she had. She talked about that. We showed her TEDx talk. Absolutely very powerful work that she's doing there in the prison system and getting people out into the working public. So thank you, Stephanie, last week for being on here, and we enjoyed the show. But we can't do this show without our sponsors. So we talk about these guys every week, but man, we so appreciate these quality businesses. BBSI, can't talk enough about the work that BBSI does. They are great. Whatever you need from human resources to business consulting, I can tell you that this company has the best employees and does the very best work of any human resource company out there, plus some. They go outside of their way to take care of their customers. So BBSI is absolutely phenomenal. SBDC, the Idaho Innovation Center, we appreciate them being the sponsors. Couldn't do it without them. Bullpine Marketing does an absolute phenomenal job of keeping us up to date on our website, keeping us, we have each of the speakers submit a registration. They get it right to us. Absolutely great work. Bullpine Marketing, SEO, websites, whatever you need. And New Line Media. We're doing it here in their studio. So the backgrounds, they keep us going with all the technology. If you need any kind of video work, I encourage you to look up newlinemedia.com, right? Is that right? Newlinemedia.com? Facebook page. So yeah, check them out on Facebook. They just got some great things. They will take care of you if you need drone work, video work, interviews, whatever it is. Get your product out there. Check out New Line Media. Excuse me. So here in my hand, I am drinking my favorite Jamba drink. I love this drink, and I don't think I've tried a lot of them because I fell such in love with the Caribbean Passion. It's my drink of choice, and Brian hooked me up with Caribbean Passion. And today is all about Jamba Juice and the success that they've had in growing their business here and I wish I could say in eastern Idaho, but they're all over southern Idaho. They currently have many locations. We're going to talk about with Ryan. They've got a lot of locations here throughout eastern Idaho, and now they've got the ones over in western Idaho on the other side of the state. So absolutely doing great with the Jamba franchise. And we're going to talk all about what Ryan has done here in eastern Idaho, southern Idaho. I'm going to change that, southern Idaho, because he's got some great expansions, great franchisee of the company, and we're going to learn just a little bit more about some of the things that Jamba does. So we got 2 quick 30-second videos here that we want to show just to show you a little bit about. We've got a whole bunch of all the flavors. You can see the color, the flavors. We're going to talk all about what they offer at Jamba, and we're going to give away these 2 golden mugs here at the end of the show. So pay attention. We will be asking a trivia question at the end of the show. If my voice lasts this long, hopefully it will. But we're going to watch these quick videos, and then we'll welcome Ryan Arfman to the table. Thanks, everybody.
Everyone has their fave Jamba smoothie, but we've got more than satisfying sips. Meet your new go-to snacks. Served up any time of day, with on-the-go options that help you press pause. Or power the day ahead of you. So raise a smoothie. Or take a bite. Because this is your world fueled by Jamba.
Come on and tell me something. Just get it off your chest. Let's groove. Let's groove. Let's move. Come on and tell me something. Is that the best that you can do?
Jamba. Smoothies, juices, and bowls. Order ahead or get it delivered.
Smoothies, juices, and bowls. But tell us about these drinks that you brought.
Well, I just brought a few favorites that we have that are hot commodities right now. I'll just name a few real quick. We got Strawberry Surf Rider is always
my daughter gets that one.
is a favorite, especially when it gets hot out. Razzmatazz. Those are part of our classic lineup. We also have the Watermelon Breeze going right now that's really, really fun. Then we have a plant-based options, greens and ginger.
Oh, I see the green one. That would be the green and that would be Tyler's drink of choice. He drinks a green thing like that every freaking morning. I think it's
and you wouldn't even know it's green. That's what I love about Jamba. They make everything taste good. Then we have the Vanilla Blue Sky smoothie. We used to always wonder we have all these colors of smoothies, but how do we make a blue one? And we finally found a magic ingredient in blue spirulina that helps make it blue and really good for your skin, big antioxidant, stuff like that. And we have the Smooth Talkin' Mango, my go-to of choice right now.
That's my wife's right there, the mango.
And anyway, but these, all the plant-based don't have any like sherbets or frozen yogurt. The classics are more of a treat. We call it, going on the Jamba journey. You start with the classics, then you start going, these plant-based don't taste too bad. And then all of a sudden...
Or you just enjoy...
the Caribbean Passion and never try anything different.
That's about where I'm at. So that Caribbean Passion's been my drink for years and years. So that's what a great, man, you got the whole color spectrum done there. What great absolute drinks you have there. By the way, these mugs come with a free Jamba.
Free
Jamba.
Smoothie.
So be paying attention at the end. And man, look at that. Is that Caribbean Passion behind me? Where is it? It's there on the screen.
No, yep. That looks like the Caribbean Passion, possibly, or the Orange Carrot Karma, where it has the carrots and the orange. I think it was the Orange Carrot Karma, which is not on our menu anymore.
Isn't it really?
But you can still get it.
Wow, that's great. So good deal. Well, Ryan, it's good to have you here. I've tried getting you on for a long time, but tell us about what got you into the Jamba line of business, and tell us kind of what your history and where you've been at it.
Okay, well, growing up, I had cancer when I was a young kid, and so healthy eating was just bred into me, I guess, from a young age. So it was don't drink this, don't eat that, don't drink that soda, it's not good for you. Caffeine's not good for your kidneys, blah blah. All growing up, and so I was like, man, I can't ever have anything fun, And when back in the day, it was called Zucca juice first.
Juice, yep.
And that's when my family got introduced to it. My dad was down with my sister who was sick in Salt Lake, and she loved getting a Zucca. And so anyway, he started doing customer accounts and just like, man, this is a cool concept. And to my surprise, he ended up wanting to start one. My older brother and older sister helped him start it, along with my older brother's wife. Here in Idaho Falls. That Ammon location was the first location. I worked from right after high school as a team member, was shift lead and whatever.
Yep.
So kind of uniquely in our franchise community, I'm one of the few that have worked every stage of in the Jamba
Yes,
world.
you have.
And so it's always a fun story to tell, but that's kind of where it all started with them. And then I ended up purchasing it in 2005. And we started growing our second location in 2010 and so forth. And now we're up to 6 locations that are operating and
so
2
your
under
second one here in
construction.
Idaho Falls is over on Utah. That was your
Yes.
second.
And it took me some convincing. They're like, no, you can't do a second store in Idaho Falls. I'm
Yep.
like, yes, I can. Let me do it.
And that location filled up, and you were one of the first ones in it, and absolutely a great location over on the west side of town.
Yeah, and I was shocked how long it took to fill that center up,
Yep.
because it's been a great location for us.
Now that it's full, and you got some other good restaurants there, that helps bring in a lot of
Yeah.
traffic. So
That's really helped sales, actually, with everyone getting filled up
Yep.
in there. So
yep, that's good. And then you expanded into the Grand Teton Mall, and that was something you did during the COVID.
Yep, it was right before the year before COVID.
Was it?
Is when we got into there and wanted to solidify our market here, and thought it would be good as well to be in front of all the shopping and stuff in the wintertime and be there for the weekends. We introduced Jamba to a lot of new people in there.
Yep.
And we actually have the Boise Mall as well. So we did 2 malls. We end up opening 2 days apart.
Oh, wow.
And it was a chore getting them open. It always is. It's never easy opening a new store.
So
I'll
you
tell
in the
you.
Boise Town Square?
Boise Town Square Mall, yeah.
That's great. The #1 mall over there. So, and then you've opened up a couple more over on that side of the state.
Yep. So, my second store was in Twin Falls, and then we finally went to Boise, and then we're in Nampa, and now we're opening 2 more in Meridian.
So, wow, 6 stores with the 2 more opening up. That is, what a growth success story. What's in the future for Jamba? You plan on expanding any more beyond that?
Yeah, these have been such a chore. I'm gonna try to get these up and try to get them making money.
Take a breather.
Every time you open a new store, it takes a few years before you start making money, and it's a lot of cash investment. So it's nerve-wracking sometimes, but you just keep plugging away at it until they're successful. And but yeah, we see that we can open more in the Boise market as well. So
wow, that's great. Well, kind of talked about. So you bought the business from your father.
Yep.
And what? And how long was he involved with you to help you become, get your feet on the ground?
I started managing it for him while I was in school. I went to business management degree and got that at BYU Idaho. So I had my hands in it from the beginning, and saw my older brother managing it as well, and worked closely with him, and got lots of training and counsel from him as I was trying to take it over and stuff. So there really wasn't a whole lot when he decided, we switched from Zucca to Jamba in 2000, and it was quite the transition. Even though we took the best of both menus and mixed them, it just was almost like a dagger in some people's heart.
Was it really?
And it took some time to really transition out of that. But I learned right then, like sometimes you just got to get feet on the ground and make things happen if you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
And that's what we did through that time period. And so it was a good learning experience for me, and it just came by going a little bit at a time. You know, where can we win? Where are we not being successful? And just going after the wins as much as possible when we were in that stage of our business. So
Very good. How has COVID affected your business? I mean, I think that it probably was a little rough at the beginning, right? And then after that?
yeah, I mean, we had probably 2 months where, you know, you're down 70%, malls closed for 2 months. That was right after we opened them, you know, and they were wanting us to still pay rent and everything, and they wouldn't even let us walk into the malls to check on our product and equipment.
Really?
We're like, what in the heck?
Really?
So that was an interesting time,
Yeah.
and I was getting a little scared there. But the nice thing is, you know, we are a healthy product. People love us for colds, flus, and all that sort of stuff. And so it went right in with, you know, healthy eating. We just tried to adjust and, you know, do curbside delivery and, you know, whatever we could just to pull our way through it. But as soon as we got over that hump and people were a little bit less fearful, I guess, to go out, we just exploded. And so had 2 record years back to back, which was awesome.
How many do you have curbside pickup at all of your locations except for the malls? Is that?
Yeah, except for the malls. Everywhere else, well, in Ammon particularly, we got approved to have specific spots. But like Twin Falls, we have 10-minute parking instead because of big box. They have in their contracts that we can't do that. So that was kind of our workaround, and we just kind of tell people when they come to the store, like, hey, we'll bring it out to you. Let us know, and we'll just run it out if you need to. And we were really, like, every phone call we'd take or whatever, like, hey, do you need that brought to the curb or not, you know, during that COVID phase when some people didn't want to be around people and stuff as much. So just tried to make it work the best we could and make as many people happy as we could.
Yeah. Well, talk about your product line. I know you started out with the drinks, and you've kind of done some expansion into some other types of products over the years. Talk to about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. We used to have one smoothie size, and that was it. And it took them years to finally get a bigger size that people were asking.
Mm-hmm.
And we begged and begged for a smaller size as well. Some people want the smaller size. They want, you know, for a treat. You don't want quite so many calories and stuff. If you're using it as a meal replacement, the bigger ones are okay, but the smaller ones didn't work so well for that. And we finally convinced them to do it. And then we brought in the bowls, and the bowls have been probably the biggest addition to Jamba that's really taken off. And Jamba does the bowls.
What's all included in the bowls?
So I mean, you have less like juice in the bowls. We typically have either a soy milk, almond milk, or, you know, a little bit of juice, but only like 2 to 4 ounces compared to 8 to 12 ounces.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to be a lot thicker. We have our organic granola on top that has the pumpkin seed and flax seed with our fresh fruit toppings, and then many of them are drizzled with honey and whatnot. They shrunk our bowl menu a couple years ago to kind of just streamline with supply chain issues, and they're getting ready to expand it again. I can't wait to see what they bring.
Good.
But lots of good stuff coming out, and I love that Jamba's, you know, you can take something healthy and still make it delicious. That's the forefront of everything they do. Like we love fruits and veggies, but we got to make sure that it's tasting good to the consumer as well.
Very good. And then you have, what else do you have? Do you usually have some pastries, or do you have anything like that?
Yeah, we have some pretzels that like our sourdough Parmesan pretzel. Not many people know it has 14 grams of protein.
Wow.
11 grams of protein in our apple cinnamon pretzel, and it's also a vegan option. We've got our handwiches that are like an egg McMuffin option
for breakfast.
How
have I not seen that on there? I got to come in at the right time, I guess.
It's really good. And you saw it on the commercial. You know, they're eating that little handwich.
Saw that.
They seem a little small because there's not quite as much bread on there, but the meat and the cheese and everything that's on there is still good. But there's a Impossible one as well, so it's the vegetarian option that's pretty good. It's actually really good.
Wow.
So
very good. Well, that's great. How many different franchise stores are there of Jamba?
I don't know what the current count is, but it's over 850. Okay. I don't think it's quite to 900.
The website said over 800. So
yeah, so I think it's between 850 and 900. That's
They're in
we're
like
in there.
38 different states or something like that. So all those are in 38 different states.
Yep. So they've grown a lot over the years, and I still feel like we just have a lot of room to grow. And it's mostly just teaching people how to adapt eating habits. I'm not saying you should have a smoothie for every single meal, but they're very low cholesterol, high in fruit and nutrition. You get your phytonutrients, minerals that you don't get with a lot of other meals. So it just makes it a real easy way to consume that quickly and get the nutrients you need. Like, I love it for lunch. Is probably one of my favorite times.
Is it really?
Because whenever I go out and eat a lunch, I just feel kind of like, oh, now I gotta go back to work.
Yeah.
I just want to take a nap, and I don't feel like that after I just have a Jamba for lunch with like a sourdough Parmesan pretzel or something. It's just a little bit easier to handle.
Good, just a good power drink. I did the rib and chop shop lunch, and I would like to lay down on this couch right here and just take a nap right now. So I know what you're saying, that this would be a much better replacement for a big lunch like that.
Yeah, sure.
Very good. We'll kind of talk about the advice you gave, and we asked all of them to fill out a survey. And some of the advice that he gave, I just thought was crucial for businesses out there to hear. So don't think small, think big.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I get a lot of people that say, "Is Jamba like all you do?" Like, yeah, but I work my guts out at it. Like,
Yeah.
when we first started, it's like, I know I'm just a smoothie guy here, but how do I go bigger? How do I maximize what I have? And without that vision and drive to make it bigger, it's really hard to take your business anywhere. So, everyone goes in, I don't think there's a small business that's small. Like, it's just a small business that maybe just had some small thinking behind it, if it hasn't gotten big yet. But I mean, really, for me, it's just all about we're slow in the winter. What are we going to do to, increase sales in the winter? Well, I want to be where people would crave this still in the winter. So I start hitting gyms. I start hitting basketball games, football games, in the late fall and stuff like that just presented us in those situations where it was still craveable. And then they realize, hey, I still like Jamba in the winter. And really, that's one of the times that you should be consuming it most, because that's when we lack our fruits and vegetables.
Yes,
we start
it is.
going into our fats and carbs more when we get
we
colder.
do.
So anyway, but that's kind of how I just thought about that. Like, I know I can go bigger. I know I can get to these sales number. And then you'd hear about, the downtown Disney stores always setting major records, well, okay, I might not be able to do that, but I can compete with these bigger stores that are in California, and I can still be closed on Sunday. In fact, I used to have people that would challenge me all the time. You're never going to get to our sales volume unless you're open on Sunday. I said, just wait.
Yeah.
I'll still do it. And we love being closed on Sunday. Other than the malls, they have to be open with our contracts. But it just makes it nice for us to have just one day where we're not worrying about people not showing up to work or whatever, the daily grind that you have to deal with all the time.
Honor you that for that. But kind of what you're talking about is that you take some of the downtime, and that's when you're planning what you can do to take business to the next step. And if that's opening a new location, if that's adding additional products, whatever it is, I love that the smart business people out there take that time and do the planning to prepare to open up. It takes quite a bit of capital to open up a new store. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Every time we're writing checks for new stores, I'm just like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
I'm just like, what was I thinking? 'Cause especially right now with all of the inflation, you can't get anything for months on end.
Construction wise.
So you got to put a lot more up front, and my bank accounts just go, boom, and it takes a good 2 to 3 years before I feel like, okay, I'm glad I did this.
Yes.
But my wife always has to remind me, like, Ryan, you said the same thing last time you opened the store.
Yep.
And I said, it still stinks.
It does. And it's a lot of work.
Yep.
But that's where the aggressive business people, you can sit back on your laurels, or you can be aggressive like you're doing and opening up these new stores. When I had my cell phone business, I expanded. I started here in Idaho Falls, hit every town from Rexburg to Mountain Home. I couldn't get into the Boise, but I opened up a store in almost one of those towns. But they take a lot of work and preparation to get into those new locations.
Yeah, it's not a job for the weary, that's for sure.
It is definitely not. Ryan, I know you're very active in the community. We do a triathlon series, and you're one of our sponsors for that, and we appreciate that. But you're very involved with various types of organizations. In fact, you have an employee that comes out to each of our events and sets up and brings the the finishers some drinks, and but talk about why do you do these kind of community involvements?
Yeah, I mean, one, I started it because it was fun, and that was a good way to introduce ourselves to the community and what we offer, and we also fit in well with that type of product. So, I mean, if you're another business, you know, you might fit into art shows better, or, you know, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You need to get out, reach out, and just be involved and not worry about wasting your time and working for free sometimes, because if I didn't work for free a lot of the time, I would never be where we're at today.
Exactly.
The franchise, we outperform what we're projected to do from the beginning even till now. They're like, man, compared to other markets, you guys are still outperforming. And part of that's just we have a great following in Idaho Falls. We're closely connected and stuff like that. So.
I call it business karma. So if you go out and do good and help other people like that, it's going to come back and benefit you.
True, and
that's why I think you do it. But it's that kind of mentality that if you give to others, it will come back to you tenfold. And so I there's so many events that I see Jamba at here locally, and then you support a lot of the schools and the franchise or the people doing fundraising and stuff like that. I know I'm a participant of your buy one get one cards all the time. Anytime I see a Jamba buy one get one, I'm gonna support that organization in doing that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, because it's one of those things that was like we get asked nonstop, sometimes 3 times a day during the spring and fall, especially when schools are going. We need help. We need money, and it was just kind of like this is a win-win for everybody. You know, we get some marketing out of it. We donate part of that. We cover our costs. Now we're all working together to accomplish those things. But we also go and sell inside the schools, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. We try to give them something healthy once a week to look forward to, and try to at least, you know, inspire people to think just a little bit healthier. You know, if you're a basketball player, are you eating right? Are you taking care of your body? Just those little things I think really mean a lot when we can get involved in that way.
Very good. Some other things that key factors of success that I think is shown by his growth pattern that he's had. Hard work, passion, and a love of people. Absolutely, you've got to have that if you want to grow your business and get it out of the just opening your doors every day. So absolutely a great thing. And some other entrepreneur advice: do the things that most people are unwilling and afraid to do. Absolutely some great advice. So talk to the business owners out there. Is there anything that, and why have you done some of the things that you've done that you feel have made you successful?
So I made the comment, like, sometimes you're working for free, and you've got to be okay with that. You're not an hourly worker anymore.
Yeah.
So when I started doing the events, we started trying to sell things there and stuff like that. And it's like, people don't come to a race wanting to spend a lot of money after. They're coming to the race focused on the race. I said, let's just be part of the race. Let's donate our time and our product and make it just a fun race, and make sure that when we don't go to an event, people are like, man, where's the Jamba? I want my Jamba there, you know? And that just cost us money, and I didn't realize, you know, the benefit that was at first. We also do events with a trailer. Some of the events I've done have been a total flop. It costs more to set the trailer up with labor than it did to be there, you know, for the 8 hours we were there. We didn't make a penny. But we found great events that we could be a part of, and that ended up working out for us as well, and provided a good amount of marketing and a good amount of sales all at the same time, which has also just been a double-edged sword for us. So
it's all business karma.
It really is, and you just really can't be afraid to do the little things, and don't be ashamed of what you have. Always just have that positive mindset that, hey, this is important for these people, and that's who I'm going to care about, and they're going to care about me as well.
They are. What a great, successful franchise that has been here for many years. I moved here in 2002 and have been a frequent offender of the Jamba there in Ammon, and I've even visited the one over here on the west side. So you've got the town covered here, Ammon, the mall, and then over on the west side on Utah Avenue by Walmart over there. And then you expanded over into the other side of the state, which I think is just a very good business strategy. So I know that as I looked on the Jamba map last night, there's none in Wyoming. You got to look at getting over to Jackson or
hitting
over there.
There used to be one in Jackson. but it was just like a weird location,
Was
and it was just unfortunate. I'm like, oh, every time I go there, I'm like, I should look at it, but
It
it
does,
just, I
yeah.
got so many more things on my plate.
It is.
But Rigby and Blackfoot, we're still looking at. We get asked a lot, so if you're from Rigby or Blackfoot, don't think we don't love you. We do.
Yeah.
We're keeping a close eye on that market, and if we get the opportunity, we're going to come there too. So
Very good. Well, as a Rigbyite, I'd love to have you even closer. So, so very good. Well, we appreciate you being here and the advice you've given to the small businesses. Is there anything else that you want the public to know about Jamba Juice here in Eastern Idaho or Southern Idaho? There we go.
no, but give us a try. We get I feel like we got a dogma or sometimes on our back that we're just too sugary and stuff. And fruit does have natural sugars. You don't get a ton of added sugars from Jamba. Even our sherbets are made with, natural flavors, no preservatives. We never use preservatives in any of our food or anything like that.
Not many restaurants can say that.
So same with artificial colors. This blue is natural. You're not going to find that in many places. Most of them use a puree or pumps to color and make things taste better with sweeteners. If we are sweetening it, we try to use like a honey or an agave, something like that. That's more of a natural sweetener. So it's just it's all relative. But one thing I've loved about Jamba myself is I just always feel good when I consume it. And like when I go on a vacation, I don't have a Jamba close or a smoothie store that I can go to that's comparable. It just drives me nuts because I'm just like, I just always need that a few times a week that I feel like it just is good for my soul and my health. So
I love it. And my Caribbean passion here is now about half gone. So I appreciate you spoiling us here with that. So good. We'll talk about this quote that you have here.
Begin with the end in mind. If you're on a road trip and you don't know where you're going, it's going to be pretty hard to get somewhere that's very important. This is one of the 7 healthy habits by Stephen Covey, and it's just always stuck with me. And so, when I was building the Jamba business, it was always like, how do I build it in Idaho? Because it did take a while before Idaho caught on. And you really do have to have a vision for your business. If you don't have a vision for your business and you don't have an idea of like what it's going to look like and how hard it's going to be to get to where you want to be, you might be in the wrong thing, So I just feel like you got to have that vision in order to start stacking everything up to get to that end point where you want to be.
7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Stephen Covey, one of the best books out there. And this is a great principle. Begin with the end in mind. And if you are an entrepreneur, you should be paying attention and focusing on what the true meaning of that is. That in your business, you've got to focus on what the end is that you have. And if you do, you will be much more successful as an entrepreneur. So thank you, Ryan, for that. We're going to transition right into some training. We want you to kind of join us in this. The training that we have for today is 10 golden rules of customer service. So I'm going to go through these. This is something that I pulled off, and I'm going to add probably a few to this, but these are just some key things, and I'm sure that Jamba Juice uses a lot of these principles in their training of customer service. So know your customer by their first name. And as I've had many retail operations, how important it is when they walk in and you can say that name. Now, I'm sure you have some turnover with your employees and stuff, but being able to call people out by their name is just rewarding as a customer. Is that right?
Yeah, you'll see at Jamba, we don't use numbers. We use names to call out the orders. And it's a way for us to get to know the customer. Sometimes I knew the customer better by what they ordered better than their name.
Yeah.
Not always have to remember their smoothie first and then their name.
Yeah.
But I have so many friendships now in my business that I'm just friends with people from being customers for a long time. And I just love that aspect of it. So
And
yeah.
if you don't
know by
remember
the
their
first
name, you know what they drink, right?
Yep.
Yeah, probably true. This is a great advice for any business out there if you're selling anything. But listen twice as much as you talk. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and I'm sure everyone's heard that before. But this is a great thing if you want to be successful and have good customer service in your business, is listen. And I always, one of my big training philosophies is that you've got to build the need by listening to why did they come visit you? What are they looking for? And if If you don't, you're just going to be throwing up on your product on them, and this is not what you want. But you need to listen to what their needs are. Always tell the truth. That's a great. If you're going to be known for your customer service, you got to tell the truth. Never argue with the customer. There is that philosophy that the customer's always right. You have to bite your tongue many of times. Is that right?
Yeah, there's sometimes you have to, but once again, like sometimes you do mess up, and sometimes you know it, but you're embarrassed. And we have, I've done it before. I tried to make up an excuse. I just thought, boy, that's really didn't do anything. I just need to own up to it.
Yep.
And fix it for them, and do whatever I can to make them come back in, and just make sure that we're on track for the next visit.
Everybody's not perfect, but you can make it right by just owning things and never argue with the customer. Under promise, over perform, over deliver. That's what you want, and people recognize that when they come into your stores. If your people are friendly, if they get greeted nice, if they're treated right, that's the over coming out positive for the customer.
I have a mentor that always said, give $10 service for a $5 product. So we try to make that our
that's awesome.
That's mantra.
Awesome. Sorry, I've got to enjoy my Jamba here while we're doing this. So follow up. And your business, it may not be that relevant, but a lot of service-oriented businesses, this is a crucial one, to follow up. And just even phone calls to just say, how was it? Or an email or a text or anything like that, depending on what your business is. Be thankful for your customers who complain, for you still have the opportunity to make them happy. It's a great little principle there. Enthusiasm. I bet you this is something that you train with your staff.
Yep.
If the customer is going to be as happy as you are.
Yep. I treat them like your best friends walking through the door. I use the excuse all the time whenever their friends come in. I'm like, did you see how awesome you treated your best friend when they came in? I said, I hope you're treating every guest like that.
That's right. Very good. Be thankful for each and every customer every time, and remember the golden rule. We've talked about that today. Do unto others as you want done unto you, and that's the way we call it business karma. So absolutely some great nuggets of advice, and I can tell you that some of the other areas of providing customer service, some of the best things that you can do is to get those Google reviews, and you're not going to get good Google reviews if you don't follow these principles. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Very good. That's our kind of our training advice. So everybody go out and visit Jamba Juice. If that doesn't look appetizing there behind me, I can tell you what would, but that is what you'll get at Jamba Juice. So we talked about we're going to give away these golden mugs with very nice quality mugs, man, and they come full. And they got the certificate in there for a free one. So I'm gonna ask a little trivia. I'm gonna ask 2 trivia questions here, and you can choose to answer one. Let's put my cell phone number up there on the screen. You can text me. And what is my favorite drink at Jamba Juice? So has something to do with a nice vacation place. And the second question is, how many locations does Jamba currently have here in this area? Does Ryan have in all of southern Idaho? So answer to those questions, or you can tell me what he's looking, his expansion of some new stores. How many new stores is he looking to add? So answer those questions. Like we got some people texting already in. So, but send us the answer, and we will get you one of these golden mugs from that. So we're excited to next week. We've got a great speaker. Tune in. I'm not going to say the name yet, but we've got a great show lined up for next week. So tune in to Talkin-Business next week. Everybody make it a great week in business. Thanks, Ryan, and we wish you the best with the Jamba franchise in the area. So keep on doing business, and we'll see everybody next week. Give us a thumbs up. We give the thumbs up.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everybody.
We all love to receive great customer service. As consumers, it makes us feel good. So much so, consumers now rate customer service as the most important factor when deciding to do business with a company. This means the traditional competitive advantages such as price, location, and product are rapidly disappearing. In the technological era, customer service is king. Sad to say, but when it comes to customer service, we've all had a bad experience, and news of bad customer service reaches more than twice as many ears as praise for good customer service. So it's really important to understand and avoid certain behaviours that make our customers angry. In a recent survey, 57% of customers expressed frustration that the company was not available when needed. 56% of customers felt that customer service is still too slow. And 42% of customers felt that they have to speak to multiple agents before their problem is resolved. 34% of customers feel like just another number and the service they receive is too impersonal. With 24% of consumers feeling they know more about the product than the agent they were speaking to. And a rapidly growing percentage of customers are dissatisfied with poor website design and online availability. The consequences of getting customer service wrong can be very damaging. A massive 89% of customers have reported that they've stopped doing business with companies because of bad customer service. Nobody wants to work for a failing business, and even worse, if the trend continues, there might not be a business at all. Poor customer service is a factor in 8 out of 10 businesses that go bust. With complaints on the rise in today's connected world, customers don't just get mad, they get even. A recent study revealed a staggering 38 million UK consumers made a complaint last year. That amounts to a complaint every 1.2 seconds. And it's important to recognise the ever-increasing influence of the internet and social media on customer service. Social media outlets have given customers a megaphone to voice their complaints to an increasingly connected population. Twitter, Facebook and others are rife with customer stories, mostly negative, with game-changing impacts on customer service. A massive 20% of consumers would now take revenge on a company by posting a negative comment online. And social media was the channel for over 20 million complaints across all sectors during the past 12 months. Avoiding customer complaints is only one of the many reasons why you need to get customer service right. There are lots of benefits for you and the company you work for. It's true that nobody enjoys working for an organisation that feels like a sinking ship. If the customer is happy, you will be too. It will allow you to focus on proactive opportunities and stop you feeling like you're in a constant reactive firefighting mode. Plus, good customer service fuels positive publicity in the media, allowing you to be proud of what you do. Most importantly, happy customers become loyal customers, and loyal customers are very valuable indeed. They're willing to spend more, they refuse to switch services, and crucially, they're very likely to spread the love and recommend your services to others. How do you create these magical loyal customers? Policy? Systems? Technology? No. It's simple. In a recent survey, friendly employees or customer service representatives topped this list of what customers want. So, it really is down to you. Try to take what you've learned in this module and use it to shape how you interact with customers every day.